Ok, hola, ¿cómo están? Vamos a hablar sobre la hora en español, y vamos a usar los números de ayer. We're going to use those numbers from yesterday para la hora, the time in Spanish. Okay, so if you'll find your notes for today, okay, and go ahead and find the section ¿Qué hora es? This is our question for what time is it? No funciona. Okay, it's like literally saying what hour is it? Okay, so we're going to walk through how we tell time in Spanish today using those numbers. And yes, you are going to be practicing writing those numbers out. So look back on your notes onto how to write those numbers, where the E and the I's are confusing, which ones come first. So make sure that you check back on how to spell those. All right, but telling time has kind of some process to it. So let's go ahead and get started, okay? ¿Qué hora es? What time is it? What hour is it? Okay, when it's 1 o'clock, and only when it's 1, okay, or 1:15 or 1:20, but if this hour is 1, okay, we're going to say es la una. Right? Es la una. We're not going to say uno. Es la una. Right? Es la una. And if we have to add more, minutes onto that, we would say es la una, and then we'll talk about how to add in a minute. But as long as that hour is 1, we're going to say es la una. Right? If it's 2, anything greater than 1 for those hours is written son las, and then the number. Son las dos. Son las dos. Okay? All right, so anything that is just with 1 with the hour is es la, with 2 or anything greater than 1 is son las for the hour. Okay, son las dos, son las tres. All right, let's talk about adding those minutes. Right, we're going to use that word and. All right, here. Son las dos. Because this Y, when it stands by itself, means and then we're going to add the minutes. Son las 2:05. Son las 2:05. All right, is how we do that too. All right, so let's try this one out. Muy bien. Son las 3:10. Muy bien, excelente. Okay, all right, let's go to the next one. All right, go ahead and write it like you did up here, okay, just with that formula of writing the son las, then the hour, the letter that we use for and, that Y, and then the minutes. So you should be writing son las 3:15 and 15. Perfecto, great. There's also another way to say when it's 15 after, okay, like 3:15 or 4:15 or 5:15, all right? Because we do this in English, we say, oh, it's 1/4. All right, so we have another way to say that in Spanish. All right, so let me show you that way as well. You still do son las 3:15. So not cuatro, all right? Make sure that you put the R before the T, but 1/4, right? And that's like saying it's like 3:15. It's 3 1/4, all right, is what it's kind of saying. 3 1/4. Okay. If you are, that's confusing, okay, then stick with this way for right now, but just be familiar that this is what that means. All right? let's look at this next one. We can just do this the regular way like we were practicing up here. Right? So you should have son las cuatro. Watch the R and T. Son las cuatro y and 20. E before the I. 20. Son las cuatro y 20. 4:20. All right? Let's talk about 4:30. Okay? We're going to do the regular way of just adding and putting that 30 minutes. But then there's also, you know, we say in English, oh, it's half past the hour. So we're going to show you that way as well. All right? So, son las cuatro y 30. E before the I. Okay, so it's 4 and 30. Or we can say son las cuatro y media. Like it's a half. Right? Like it's half past. Okay? Okay, so let's pause here, okay, and talk about, give you a visual for our clock. All right, when we look at this clock, all right, when we're talking about time in Spanish, we can always do exactly what we're doing and add those minutes all the way around the hour. So we can always say, oh, it's 5 and 50, or it's 6 and 15, or it's 9 and 35. We can add all the way around that hour. But when it comes to the back half of this clock, so when it comes to like it's getting close to the next hour, we're on the last part of that hour, we have another option, is that we can go to the next hour and subtract minutes. Okay? It's like what we do in English. We say, oh, it's 15 till, or it's 10 till 6, all right? Which really means it's 5:50, all right? So we're gonna show you both options. If that's super confusing to you, jump on that Google Meet so we can work through it, and you always have that option of just adding around the clock, all right? So we're gonna first show you just the adding those minutes. We'll practice that, then we'll do the back half. All right, so 5:45, son las 5:45. All right, we added all the way around, great. Okay, that's one option. All right, now let's go do the subtracting. So the next hour after 5 is 6. All right, so son las 6. So it's 6. And what word did we use for minus yesterday? Menos. So we're going to use that again. Son las 6 menos. And how many minutes to 6 are we? 15. So 15. 6 menos 15. Or we learned up here that we have that fourth option, cuarto. Okay, so we have almost like 3 different options there. We could have son las 6:45, like 5 and 45. We could have son las 5:45, 5:45. Or we could have 6 menos 15, 6 minus that 15, okay, bringing that back down to 5:45. Or we could say son las 6 menos cuarto, minus that fourth, okay, saying like it's 1/4 till 6. All right, so I know it's a lot. All right, pick a way that you know that's like, oh, that makes the most sense to me. All right, and that's the one that you probably need to use. But you need to be aware of the other ones, because you might hear somebody say, oh, son las 6 menos cuarto, and you need to know what that is, okay? Okay, there, here we go, all right? 6:50, so we have both of those options again. So son las 6. Let's go ahead and just do our adding one. Y 50. 6 and 50. Right? Or we can go to the next hour, which is 7. Son las 7, I before E, menos, minus, 10. Okay? Son las 7 menos 10. All right? If you need to, go ahead and pause right here and make sure that you have your notes correct. Now we're going to practice a little bit, okay? Okay, you have a practice section right down here, all right? Take a minute, pause your video, okay? Practice writing these out, writing your numbers out, okay? Pause the video, practice writing them, all right? And then play your video and we'll go over our answers together. Okay, ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? Ajá, muy bien. Es la una. Remember that because it's 1, it's es la una. And then we're going to add our minutes. Y 30. Or you might have y media. Muy bien. Excelente. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 2:45. Okay, that's one option. We can go to the next hour and minus. Son las 3 menos 15, or you may have even had son las 3 menos cuarto. Okay, you only needed to have one, but just make sure that you're aware of either one of those are correct. Okay, aquí, ¿qué hora es? Son las 8:40. Muy bien. Or we can go to the next hour and minus. Son las 9 menos 20. Muy bien. Oh, muy fácil. Okay, super fácil, super easy. Okay, ¿qué hora es? Son las 9. Muy bien. Okay, ¿qué hora es? Now watch, it's 1 right here. Okay, so es la 1:50. There's one option. Or we can go to the next hour and minus. And then the next hour would be 2, so we can't say es la. We have to say son las 2 menos 10. Perfecto. Okay, aquí. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 5:15. Or you could have y cuarto. Either one of those words. Just pick one. Don't put both of them. Okay? A ver, aquí. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 7:05. Aquí. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 10:15. 12. Okay, aquí we can go ahead and add, ¿qué hora es? Son las 12:45. We can always add. All right, if we go to the next hour to minus, what's the next hour after 12? 1. So remember what we have to do with 1, we have to say es la una menos 15 or menos cuarto. Muy bien. Okay. A ver, la última, número 10, ¿qué hora es? Son las 2:25. Remember those 20 numbers are all one word, okay? E before the I, all right? Okay, if you will take a scrap sheet of paper out, okay? Or on someplace in your notes, right? If you will go ahead and just kind of find a spot to write on. Okay? I'm going to call out a time to you in Spanish, and you're just going to write down the numerals, all right? Then we'll go over them together, okay? Son las 7:20. Son las 7:20. Son las 7:20. 7:20 is what you should have. 7:20. 7:20. Es la 1:30. Es la 1:30. Es la 1:30. Muy bien. Es la 1:30. Remember, media is like that half hour. A ver, the next one. A ver. Son las 4:35. Son las 4:35. Son las 4:35. 4:35. Muy bien. Ok, a ver. Son las 10:20. Son las 10:20. Son las 10:20. All right, we hear the minus, so not 10. So what's comes before that? Okay, it's like 10 minus 20. Muy bien. Okay. Son las 7:10. Son las 7:10. Son las 7:10. So we heard that minus, so 7 minus 10, 6:50. Son las 9:05. Son las 9:05. Son las 9:05. Muy bien. Ok, una más. Son las 11:15. Son las 11:15. Son las 11:15. So 11 is 11 minus 15. Okay. 10:45. Muy bien. Okay. Okay, a ver. If you are struggling with this, ask me questions. I have my office hours today, or message me or remind or send me an email. And we are going to practice in our homework. Okay? So for remote learning today, okay, we're gonna practice with telling time. Okay, kind of like the practice up here. I'll give you some more practice. I'll call out some times to you, all right, for that session. Okay, if you have trouble telling time, all right, your homework is the telling time worksheet on Google Classroom. All right, so each of you has a copy, and you're going to go ahead and do that. Make sure that you check your spelling. Make sure that you do that correctly. If you have questions, let me know. Okay? Okay, adios.